today. What I thought I'd start off with is astrology originated from inner earth. It originated within the layout of how it is in inner earth. This is why on one level I can tell you so much about Agarthas, because I understand its origins. Yes, I also know other things about Agartha, but it is, astrology ties up so much of what's going on down there. And over the last few videos, I'm sure you've been able to see some things that you can't find information elsewhere. It's simply because it's in these sciences. Exactly like I've also explained about the Norse or the Nordic philosophy, the Nordic mythology. It explains and shows us how to apply that to where we live here on Earth. When we talk of Agartha, what a lot of people are not putting together, and this is what I would like to bring across in this, what a lot of people are not putting together is you need to realize we're operating on two different levels here. We're operating on the one level where we are the surface or earth dwellers, and the other one is you need to realize the impact or the implications that inner earth has to us or on us. And that's very important to realize how those integrate with each other. If you start looking at life from a two-plane concept or two-dimensional concept, as opposed to just what we see around us, it's going to make a lot more sense. So what I'd like to do, let's see if, okay, everybody can see the globe. You can see it there all right, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. What I want to show is this is the accepted concept of the Earth. Astrology shows you the flat Earth, but now I want to combine the two. And again, this is where I want to start showing how you don't separate your sciences. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going through my notes here. I've got so much that I'm trying to cover. I'm trying to get it all in. When you realize, I hope that from the comments, I hope that a lot of the people who are into technologies, who are into the sciences, are going to benefit particularly well from this to explain and help them pursue their sciences. Some of them are going to do it on a hobby level, but some of them are going to be looking for genuine answers, and this is what I'm hoping to bring out for them. I'm also hoping to show everybody around us how to actually tie in, make it practical, all of these things. And I want to bring it in, as I said, if we have a look at this Earth. Now, when we have a look at the globe, we generally accept what we've been taught about it. This is a Reader's Digest globe. What a lot of people, I don't know how many people have actually looked. I want to go to the top here with this ring, this disc here that's got half white, half black, which shows the day and night principle. But that is a very important principle on which to understand and tie into astrology now. You will match up the midnight position with a date line. Now the date line runs here where we've got mostly, let's see, where we've got mostly water or ocean. Now that line is very important to start, and that's going to bring in astrology. So let me describe the 12 o'clock midnight position according to astrology. Here we've got the layout in this picture of flat Earth laid out in a circular map instead of the ball globe. Now the ball globe is fine, we're going to use it, but I need to start at this point. And if you have a look, the 12 o'clock position is, and I've put it on the map here, to the 12 o'clock position here on the flat Earth map. When you start realizing that this is laid out or can be laid out according to astrology, Aries, which is roughly, well, it is between the 8 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position on this map. Can you see the Aries with that symbol of Mars?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we look at these different positions and we realize that the Earth is actually laid out according to this system, but put on a globe system, you'll realize the globe system is a concept that they're trying to show us in another way. So the globe system is a different concept to this flat Earth system, but the two are related. Now, in astrology, Aries is where everything generally starts. So that is between the 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock position, although the 12 o'clock position, according to the globe Earth, is what we call midnight. Now, when you look at the geography of this map, you need to realize that this is a superimposed model. As I say, astrology originates from inner Earth. You want to try and realize that when we talk of the as above, so below, whatever's going on in inner Earth is going to be bringing or reflecting its, not concepts, but its layout, its energy onto Earth according to this flat Earth map. I'm just wondering. All right, the 12 o'clock position, from where everything starts on a seed level, the 9 o'clock position, that shows where everything manifests itself. Aries represents the manifestation or the physical appearance of things. 12 o'clock represents the seed stage. Now, I want to, roughly in this area here, the map is not going to be, I hope it's quite clear for people. This is where England, or where the current, we're a lot into the Anunnaki, we are a lot into the lizards, into the reptilians. Why is the English ruling family so powerful? And you'll realize they sit or reside within this part of their 6 o'clock position where my cursor is showing. Now this one is ruled, this yellow, I've drawn it in yellow, or colored it in yellow for people. This yellow is known as the house of Gemini, the third one. Aries is the first one, Taurus the second one, Gemini the third one. The chart moves anti-clockwise. When you have a look at that, Gemini is ruled by this symbol, which is the symbol for Mercury. You will realize that it has a lot to do with thinking. Mercury rules the mind. Mercury rules mentality. So when you realize that a lot of the thinking of Earth originates within this area of flat Earth, you can quite easily see why that is where the Greenwich Mean Line sits. That Greenwich Mean Line has a significance why it is there and not anywhere else on the map. So you will realize that this is the brains, this is the thinking of the world. It runs at this 6 o'clock mark on the Greenwich Mean Time line. I then want to move into this, what they call this first house. Different from a sign, we just call Aries the first sign, but this house, this is also, let's not get too technical, this is known as the house. Now Aries is ruled by Mars, which is, it's the energy, the dynamic, the force that goes out into the physical world. Now when you start realizing how this ties up with the thinking aspect, you will realize that this Aries, or this first house, that's between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, this position is what goes out and does all the energy, or all the ruling, or all the action, the activity of Earth. The whole energy sits within this area. And if you have a look, Andrew, can you see that how much of North America is in this area?
Yes.
Well, if you think about it, America is like a powerhouse, which is this Aries or Mars symbol. When you realize that you've got the 6 o'clock mark, by this crowd with North America, when the Americans seem to be dominating politics, dominating world events, dominating major decisions made in the world, doing so much. Well, yeah, you can see now Aries starts explaining it's the start of everything that happens on Earth. Although the behind the action is the thinking, which now starts showing you how England and America are tied up together. Those who like the Bible, you'll see that Ephraim and Manasseh of the 12 tribes of Israel, why do they get mentioned? Well, they've got a particular unique energy. It all ties up with this. So here's your Ephraim or English, and here's your Manasseh or America. I want to deal and explain to people on this house between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. This is the house of Cancer, ruled by the moon. I've done it in black on purpose to show people that it goes within. Cancer rules the moon, or our feminine or inner aspect, it usually understands. But I want to explain to people that this is also very much your psychic domain. And psychic must highlight or bring up for people, when you hear psychic, you've got to know it's a connection to another world. And this on the map here, the African part that you can see, as well as this part of Europe, you've got to realize that that ties up with Argatha, or the inner world, which is why Africa has got such, people fear the black man. They can't explain why. People fear something about these black people, but we don't know what it is until you realize it's not because the movies have portrayed them with guns. It's not because we've portrayed them, I don't know how much of the history is put about as these wars or these hooligans that run around. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with the psychic connection they have with their ancestors or the other side. What the black people talk of their ancestors, in actual fact, says they are in touch with the Argathans, or the people within inner earth, that other domain. Their ancestors, when you speak to the black people, does not mean their father and their grandfather, or their mother and their grandmother. It relates to the ancestors, where we were created, inner earth. Andrew, I do not know how much of your people can see or fit in with this. I hope this explains a part to show people how this now ties up. Astrology ties up with flat earth, ties up with the globe, ties up with inner earth.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take this off. Yeah, carry on.
No, it's okay. It was a stupid question.
No, there are no stupid questions, Andrew. There's a lot. I mean, it would be good if you do ask if there is anything you want to know, because what happens is this allows people, I talk it because it's natural and it's normal for me, but other people might need to know. So what you think might be stupid, other people might also want to know. Yeah. So at any time within this talk, just Andrew, ask, please.
The picture's gone really bad, Holger. Sound.
I see it showing sound bad on my side, yeah.
Just give it a minute, it might just sort itself out. Can you just say something?
Okay, okay.
That's better now.
How's that
yeah,
sounding?
That's better now. That's better.
Okay. That image that I've shown there with how America ties in with the energy aspect, or that Mars aspect, very warrior aspect. If we start understanding that while we're looking at just the Mars, the warrior, that fierce person that comes out, that they're known as like the powerhouse of the world at the moment. If we look only at one point, we will never understand the full dynamics of politics, of world powers. We've got to look at two different levels, and this is why I'm trying to bring in the flat earth concept. It's not that I'm saying one needs to accept the flat earth. The globe earth works as well. But I'm trying to show that when you start realizing the layout, the dynamics, how the energy or how the power is laid out on this system, just understand it's a concept I'm trying to explain. It's not a fixed, and that's the only way. When we look at politics, you don't want to look at only the surface or only one aspect. In other words, only America or only politics. You want to look at two different places. I've tried to show you how the 6 o'clock part and the 9 o'clock part tie in with each other. One is the thinking, the other is the action. It's important that that's understood, but we go deeper now. When you realize that the origins of these energies come from another dimension, you don't want to look at politics or power or events or wars or anything on one level. You want to look at it on two levels. The point I'm trying to bring here is you want to understand that life operates or has impact from other dimensions, not just what's going on Earth. If we understand and realize that the source of some of these issues arrive from somewhere else, is going to calm a lot of people down. It's not purely driven by what we see on Earth. It's not purely driven by the politics and by what Donald Trump and all that are saying. It's driven from somewhere else. In my very first video, I talked about how everything originates from inner Earth. And yeah, I'm trying to bring it together for people. I want to get as well for people to start being able to use this energy for themselves. When you realize you're going to tie in two different planes, you're going to start making your life work better. And there is a point to all of this. Andrew, does it make sense what I've said so far? Does it tie up for you and for people what I've said so far?
Yeah, it's obviously new information, so it takes a bit of getting used to. But yeah, I think I understand. I can't understand how the energy is coming out of the Earth and what that has to do with the star signs. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
And why there is a Gemini zone and there is a Cancer zone? Did someone create them, or is that just natural?
It goes to, even in Genesis, if you read Genesis in the Bible or any book that talks on the origins of mankind, the four rivers that come out of the Garden of Eden, the four rivers, I wonder, Andrew, let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get an actual picture for you here. Just bear with me. Let me see if I can get this. Let me. Okay. Earth. Let's see if I can get some pictures here. Let's see what I can. Okay, this one. Let's view image. I want it bigger. Open image in new tab. Let's see. Now let's see if I can. All right, it's not too clear on my side because I've tried to expand it here. Oh, wait, yeah, I haven't got you on share. Let me just bring it in share here. All right, share screen. All right. Has that uploaded on your side?
There we are, yeah.
Okay. If you have a look at these four rivers, those are the four rivers that come out of Eden. And people are thinking, how does this all tie up? Eden, everybody's fighting. Where's Eden? Where's Eden? You know, this country wants it, that culture wants it. When you start realizing that Eden is not on earth, you will realize how all of this ties in. So this cross that runs through here on Agartha, here's Mount Meru in the middle. These 4 rivers are the cross that astrology uses, which again should tell you that astrology originates from this place. So you've got 4 quadrants. In the Bible, the 4 rivers that run out of Eden. Now, that just sounds too fantastic because we can't even find, or nobody's got proof where Eden is. A question people could go deeper into this is, where do those rivers originate? From where do they come? And yet that goes into another world, the underworld, and so it goes on. So when we start asking deeper questions, we will realize how things tie up. You've got this line that runs across here. Now that line is also very important when you start to realize that that's a defining line. Who defined that on the globe Earth where our date line starts? It didn't start from Earth. It's not our sailors or the people who did the maps that decided where that went. That comes from this place in inner Earth. So I'm trying to show how much energy, how much design, how much implications originate from inner Earth and not from on the surface where we live.
Also, Holger, do you believe the Earth is living, if you like, it breathes?
Yeah.
It's a living organism, yeah.
Nothing is dead. We understand when we go into science, we'll have a look in the microscope. Let me just stop sharing screen here. When you look at a microscope, it doesn't matter what level you look at, everything is moving, it's vibrating. Now we're expecting something to have physical features like us, but you can relate that to the globe. The rivers could be the blood, the land could be the body, the mind could be the clouds or the air. So yes, it's a living being, but we're expecting something. When we generally classify something as living, we expect it to look like us. But that's not true. I mean, how do you explain viruses that are living? They don't look like us, and yet we like suddenly say, but I don't understand it because it's not like me. We've got to start opening up our minds into other things. This is part of this raising consciousness. I want to bring in that the 20th of December from 2017 is bringing in a new energy. And we're going to start seeing things come out that are not what we used to. It's not of this world. They're coming from somewhere else. And I'm trying to show people something is coming. And people are still into the idea of, well, it's just what's around us. We are not alone. Things are coming. So yes, the earth is very much alive.
So what things are coming then?
Well, the change. I had a friend phone me. He phoned me a little while ago. He panicked because he don't believe in all this weird stuff. He don't believe in entities. He don't believe in aliens. He don't believe in any of this stuff. He phones me up and he says he opens up a fridge. He got up 2 o'clock in the morning. He opens up his fridge, gets himself a glass of milk. He decides to take himself an orange shake, and he's obviously worried. He decides to take himself an orange out, puts it on the sofa behind him because he's going to sit and relax. He starts getting himself a drink, and this orange got thrown off the sofa. So he started panicking. He phones me. He says, I don't know what's going on, Holger. What's coming? What's going on? Is there somebody in my house? Obviously non-physical. This is going to start happening more and more. the NASA's putting out these stories. The end of the world on August was going to come. Now we've got this 23rd of September. Well, you know, that's when Nibiru was supposed to have collided with Earth, or stories like that. The writing is on the wall. They're trying to prepare us. Things are coming, but they're not giving us definitive answers. So I'm trying to say to you, the 20th of December, 2017 is a new energy that rocks up for the next 30 years. This energy is going to define some changes, major changes. And it's not that it starts on December the 20th. That's when it's in, and it then starts moving for the next 30 years. So astrology will give you these timelines. So in astrology, we work with things. There are always foreshadowings, things that are, it warns us of things coming. Not so much, well, it's going to happen from this date onwards. That means it's in full. But there are warnings. This is why we're starting to see. I don't know whether people are generally seeing more ghosts. They're seeing more non-Earth related things going on. We've got this whole upset of technology that's now shifting, and the internet's bringing in all different types of technologies and energies, free energy. It's all lining up. It's all lining up with this new energy to come in. And it originates from inner Earth.
So from your experience, why would a spirit or entity just throw a random orange across? Is it to scare people and feed off the energy?
No. You see, people, when they think of aliens and they think of entities, they always go into the negative, the fear aspect. But I explained to him, I said, if that thing meant harm, you would have plates being thrown at you. You would have cupboard doors being flung open. The fact that it did it, I said to him, what's going to be the way that you would pay attention to this thing, this being? It has to catch your attention. So I said to him, how would you expect it to catch your attention, to get your attention that it's there? So he said, it must send me an email. I mean, he's a techno dude. I mean, he's into all. I mean, really, they come from another world. They do not care for our technology. Our technology is behind the times.
Can they not speak to us in our physical bodies? Does it have to be in the mind?
Because it comes from another dimension is going to have a different energy dynamic, a different energy concept to what we're operating here. So the question is, we're asking, should it conform to our world, which is a lower dimension or lower energy or lower vibration, from its higher dimension?
So it might not even have a mouth. It could just be like a snake of light or something like that.
Yeah.
So it might not even have eyes. It might see in a totally different way. It might contact people like in a totally different way. Yeah, so I understand that now.
Yeah, so it's going to be psychic. And this is where you're going to hear things. They're going to speak to us on levels that are non-physical. So it's not going to be that you're going to hear it physically. If you hear it, you need to ask yourself, have I heard it from within, or can others around me hear it? And you'll often find that other people can't hear it. So you have to start tying up. There's things coming, and I'm trying to say to everybody, we need to prepare ourselves for a new world. It's coming in.
Anything that comes from a higher dimension than we come from, are they automatically stronger and cleverer and smarter than us?
No.
So
everything must evolve. Everything must grow. It's not to say that we are super advanced over them. They've got their own level of existence where they've also got their own things they need to learn. So they also will be developing, will be learning. So they will sometimes come to you. This is why they're not all bad. They will come to you because they need either your advice, either your help, or they need you to give them a feedback system. It's not always a negative.
And is it like heaven, where if you've done something wrong in the past, you can't get to a higher dimension? Or is it more just on what you accomplish, and they don't care what you've done in the past? So there can be evil people and good people in the next dimension.
Yeah.
Because who's to judge what's good and evil?
Yeah. This is where I've tried to give a background with wormholes. A wormhole is an energy source. Now, in an energy source, how would you describe good and evil? It's not going to be like you and I.
Well, nature
Can you hear
doesn't
me?
call that. Yeah. Nature
Okay.
doesn't call a hyena evil for killing its prey, does it?
Correct.
So
We're
it's
looking at
nature's
on the
law, basically.
Yeah. So when you look at that, how would you define evil to a wormhole? And
Well,
I'm not talking
nature
about us doing.
praises lions for being brutal and, for being a chauvinist, if you like.
Yeah.
So that's nature's law, then.
Yeah. It's all energy, and we're trying to stick with the emotionality. We're saying let's have rules. Let's play by the Queensbee rules. Let's not fight barefisted. Let's put on gloves. Let's soften it. Let's paint a pretty picture. Let's put sticky plasters all over the thing. That's not natural. That's not energy. So I'm trying to show that if we're going to this new energy that's coming in, we have to align ourselves on an energy level. And the closest thing we have to elevating that is elevating our consciousness, our mind, our thinking.
Do you think sacrifices work?
Sacrifices had their time. But if you think about it, if you're sacrificing or taking some other life to benefit yourself, well, is that harmony? I mean, why would you take a life to save a life? This is the problem I have with homeopathy. Homeopathy believes you would take a wasp or that use scorpions. Not all of them, not all their medicines, but they will sometimes use ants. They will use wasps. They will use scorpions. They will use spiders. Now we're going to destroy a life to save my life. That doesn't make sense. A lot of what homeopathy uses is also natural. So the question comes, why would you need to take a life to save a life, the sacrifice level you're talking about? That's where I'm trying to say to you, if you realize all your energy comes from Agartha, or all your energy for this level comes from inner earth, why don't we rather start dealing with an energy or the energy levels of disease, the energy levels of trauma, the energy levels of consciousness, and start working on that level instead of the mundane physical level?
Yeah.
So this is where I'm trying to help people, trying to show people we need to upgrade our consciousness, because some of the things happening around us are gross on this physical planet. We don't understand it. I mean, the vaccinations, I have a big problem with that. But when we start looking behind it, I mean, what's going on? Why is this being allowed? Is there a subliminal message that we're supposed to be getting and we just refuse at the cost of our children? I mean, are we supposed to be learning something? Is this forcing us in a direction? Is it just a blight? Is it just a sin what they're doing? Or is there a reason? And I mean, those mothers and fathers who have these children, that is not a pleasure. It's some of the most hurtful things you can do to people. But why? What is the message?
Well, they believe that they're doing right because they're depopulating the earth and it's going to save the planet. That's how they've brainwashed themselves to believe that climate change and everything like that is caused by humans, and the only way to save the planet is to kill humans or to stop them by being able to mate, procreate. This seems to be the communist mentality, what I can't get around, and I've never subscribed to. See, I agree with some left and I agree with some right, and we can never go too far left and too far right. There must be a balance in the middle. Every time you get a far left or far right party, they end up just killing people.
Yeah. You've taken my conversation, what I was going to talk about, quite far ahead, and I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to get there. This depopulation concept, this eugenics that they're bringing in, Andrew, if we look at the back of this, we need to start having a look. What's actually behind it? Why are they depopulating us? This new energy that's coming in. I don't know how many of your viewers have gone and looked at that site on mold, on parasite or fungus. When you realize that everything has to deteriorate for it to get to its worst stage before it regenerates, this depopulation principle, all this eugenics, all this trying to get rid of, be it genetically modified foods, be it making people impotent, be it causing people not to be able to have children, not to procreate. When you have a look at this, the message is it's written on the walls in so many different ways that the human has to raise his consciousness so that we can leave this place to go off to another place. We are not meant to stay here. This is where I'm trying to bring in all these sciences to show people, please understand, don't take it personal about the physical dimension. We keep relating to this physical world as ours. We own nothing. We are the soul, and we have to move off. We have to prepare ourselves to move off to another higher dimension. So they are telling us indirectly, we're going to cause you not to have children. We're gonna kill off, we're gonna depopulate you. If we're looking on an energy level and we're looking at these other stories that tie up, you will see the message is we need to move off Earth.
Yeah. The way it looks to me as well is, since nuclear weapons and missiles have come about, it seems like they don't need soldiers anymore. So they don't need, all they need is a slave race to do the work for them. They're not after soldiers anymore. They're not after strong men and things like that. So they try to feminize men. They try to stop them procreating because they've got they've got weapons. They don't need soldiers anymore. They've got drones. I bet they've got robots that can do sort of soldier things, advanced robots, and they don't, like to say that people. They've got machines now that work for them, like make cars and all that sort of thing. That's getting more advanced. They can even do doctors' jobs now. So humans are becoming out of fashion, if you like. They're too expensive
Obsolete.
to look after. Yeah. This is the elite's brain, anyway, and they think the only thing they're looking at humans for now is that they're a threat to them and their power structure.
That's the message being given, but that's not the truth. We're not a threat.
No. Yeah, that's just what I'm going from, what these people think, and the way it looks to me.
Yeah. For us surface dwellers, us humans, we appear, or it would appear like we're a threat to them. No, we're not. I'm trying to show everybody this upgrading of energy, this vortex system. This, when I try to show you with the pyramids, that it's reaching a peak and we have to transform into another world. We have to transform ourselves up. Andrew, we have to start thinking different. We have to realize that this is not heaven. We can't live here forever. The human has only been on Earth for some 6,000 years. Before that, other species were here.
Do you know how I know that's true? Because we're the only animal on Earth that has to blink, can't look at the sun. The sun kills us, apparently. And it's like eagles can fly up in the sky. They don't have eyelids. They don't have to blink. They can look at the sun. When you shine a bright light into a rabbit's eyes, they look straight at it. They don't blink. Deers, when you're caught in the headlight, they look straight at you. If you shine a light into a human's eyes, obviously they're gonna blink and they're gonna. And the way they got away with it with the Neanderthals was they had large foreheads to shield the light.
Okay.
So that was the way they did that. Now we're the only people that are the only creature on Earth that weren't designed for this place. There's only certain parts of the world we can go to.
Yeah. Let me help you there with the human, the function of the human on Earth. Because we're questioning, well, if we're a food source, if we're put here just for this short period, and I'm already saying we need to move off. We need to raise our consciousness so that we can move off. You have to ask yourself, why then did we come to Earth? Why were we put on Earth? I mean, I've got images that I still want to show you how they actually bring the soul to Earth. There's a special system, a special design in how to bring a soul to a certain point. The mysteries, the secrets are out there. We just don't always realize how to do it. So the question becomes, why were we, humans belong on Earth, but outside of Earth domain, what were we? I don't know, whatever form we have. We've got different forms. There's many different species. Why did we come to Earth? Earth, the function of Earth, it's a teaching plane. So we've come here to learn. Now, learning occurs for different people in different ways. It's not that we're all going to learn the same message. The Second World War, I just want to backtrack here, but you'll realize that a lot of this writing on the wall occurred with the two wars that we had here in the 1900s, particularly the Second World War. You'll notice that the technology just jumped, the technology just shifted. So you need to realize that the writing was already going on from the Second World War. If we can look and start tying the pieces up, what's the patterns? If we can find out what the patterns are from the Second World War, we will realize that there's a message being given to this species of human to prepare us to say, guys, you need to move off. So I'm trying to help people that this is not our home. We believe we're going to heaven. Well, why is it all being taught that we're going somewhere else? It's being said to us in so many different ways. We're not staying here. We're not meant to be here. But we've come here to learn. So some people, as I said, it seems very brutal. But I said that death is a teaching process because we have to upgrade our consciousness. We have to upgrade our level of love, our affection for other, not people just like us, not other things like us, but for everything. Now, the way you're going to love everything is you're going to love it regardless of what it is. A tree, you're going to love it for its strength or its whatever, not what we can get from it, but the symbiosis we can live with it. Because when we move off in other dimensions, we have to interact with other beings that don't even look like us, other dimensional beings. So one of the lessons we've come here is to learn to interact or integrate with other things. But what has the human done? I'm the only being here and I don't accept anybody else. That's a bad start.
So even our enemies we're supposed to love. Well, not enemies we've made, but enemies that just don't like us for any reason other than our skin colour or what we believe in.
We are so attached to the material or the external principles that we don't realize we should be paying attention to what's going on an energetic level, a mental level. These physical wars, these physical fights, as you say, if somebody's going to come in and take my house, you think I'm going to stand still? No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm going to fight. But the point is, are we going to fight just for the sake of fighting? Or are we going to start thinking, what was that all about? What was the point of that? Why are all these horrendous things put on earth? To try us, to test us, to make us suffer. But we're trying to protect this little heaven of ours, this piece of heaven, instead of saying, but I'm only here for a time. I need to move off. And we're not getting to that level.
Well, there's now, people in Britain who kill someone because they support a different football team. Yeah, that's pathetic. I've never understood it.
And this is the potential, this is the height of existence, to kill somebody over some... It doesn't even what does it promote? If we
Greed.
kill that person, and that's going to make us interact with everything in the universe. Imagine when we talk of Thor fighting, who did he fight? Not Thor.
Fenrir.
Right.
Because he tore Fenrir's jaw off, didn't he? In the myth, yeah.
So when you have a look at that, the destruction process is not the same as what we're experiencing. So we want to raise our consciousness to realize we are to embrace and accept everything. But can we live with it. And then we say, oh, well, but he harmed me. She did this to me.
Here's a thing. Who do you believe Fenrir represented? The wolf. And there was also a serpent.
Well, wolf, from a mythological point of view, he's the one that's supposed to have chased the sun and the moon, right, to keep them going.
Yeah,
so
they killed Odin. They killed Odin, and Vidar, the son of Odin, he took revenge and killed them at the end of the world, the battle at the end of the world.
Now, Odin has been recreated, hasn't he? He's not died, and we've never seen him again. According to the mythologies, he came back, did he not?
Yeah, this is another thing, Holger. These stories, are these already happened, or are they talking about something that's gonna happen? Because I always thought it was talking like the Bible about the end of the world story and the big battle at the end of the world. I always thought it's a story that's to come, not that's been.
It's both.
Right.
It's both. This has happened. Odin has already been recreated 3 times.
Right.
So what it's trying to tell us is the truth is energy cannot die. We know that. Science has proven that to us. Energy cannot die. But it would change its level or be killed. And then as we would, our souls, we die, we leave this body, the body dies, and we move off into another dimension and we continue. So a new cycle begins. Do you
think it's possible to take if there was someone who was dying, like some dictator, like say him who run North Korea,
yeah,
would he be able to somehow, or they got the technology to transfer his consciousness or his soul into another body? Or will it just appear randomly somewhere on Earth?
No. The energy you're talking about of taking that North Korean's president and putting his consciousness into another body is not quite that simple.
They can do it with clones though, can't they?
Yes, I was going to get there. The clones, you can imitate or replicate that energy. Yes, you can certainly do that. But his consciousness, when you detach, let's say we killed off all the clones. The Egyptians did this. We got rid of the physical body. But if you took out some of their DNA, you could recreate that, let's call it that pattern. It's not the consciousness you've created. You've created the physical or material matter that can replicate that being. Then what they would do, people don't understand with the clones are not the same person as that North Korean president. This is why they need to continually be. This is where MK Ultra comes in. This is where they would need to go for conditioning, mind control, to run and conduct themselves in a certain way. But if it was natural, normal for them, why would they need the mental conditioning? They need the mental conditioning because it's not natural for them and they want to go and do their own thing. So whether it's like those clones need to be beaten into submission. So they need to be conditioned over and over to stick with the program. But the consciousness of the North Korean president, no. That moves off into somewhere else. And again, when you look at it, I keep trying to go back to an energy level to try and help people understand. When you look at an energy level, let's look at that Kim Long's energy. How would we understand his energy? Not his actions, but his energy. Does he not have a fantastic revolutionary energy, something to bring in new, a killing off of an old cycle, a killing off of Odin, as you said, the wolf that killed Odin? Is that not a regeneration or an upgrade of an energy? And we think war, we're afraid of wars because we're going to die. We can't die. So we need to upgrade it to the next dimension, the next level of consciousness, the next level of experience. And unfortunately, on the physical, it needs to perish, die, be killed.
So does our physical body have to be totally gone before we can appear again? No. So it'd have to be after we've decomposed and everything?
No, because the soul. Remember, I was explaining with the arc, the speed of the arc.
Yeah.
The arc in electrical arc, that is.
Yeah.
Ironic that ties up. You've also got to start asking yourself questions about Noah's Ark. It all ties in. You need to ask questions. You need to get into these things.
Would you have the same DNA?
No.
No.
No. Because let's take a voice. You listen to my voice when I'm speaking to you out in the open. And my voice travels out in all different directions, forwards, backwards, up, down, left, right, when I'm speaking alive. Yet, if I had to put it into a computer, I can simulate the sound of my voice, but in the computer, that same voice behaves in a totally different way. It now becomes energy, whether you want to look at it on a graph level, whether you want to look at it on a 3D image level, but it transforms totally. It's not the same thing. So no, DNA has got nothing to do with transformation.
Would you say a telephone is a portal device?
A portal? Telephone?
Yeah,
sure.
Because, I mean, it's sending something from one place to another very quickly. It's doing it without, obviously there is lines to the phone, but once it leaves the phone, where does it go? Or, you know, would you say that's a portal in a way?
Yes, it's shifted the energy. It's transformed the energy. So it transforms the energy, and that is exactly, I like your thinking. That is how you'll speak in this end. It converts it into some other, convert the sound into some other mechanism.
Just one second,
and then it remanifests.
Holger, it's cut off a minute.
Okay.
I can hear you, but the pictures just froze, so just give me a minute.
No, totally different.
Sorry, it's cutting out, Holger. It's cutting out. Sorry.
Not a problem. We'll just keep going till we get it right.
Yeah. It just kept halfway through your sentence. It just kept cutting out, and then you couldn't hear what you were saying. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going till we get it right.
Yeah. Try it again.
So the voice that we hear. Now that converts into a copper, goes into a copper cable, or converts into another dimension, another form, and it becomes another energy source. It then gets remanifested on the other side as a physical voice. Now that's the same as you saying. That's how we're supposed to be thinking. This is how we're supposed to comprehend death. You know, we think it's a final stage. It's the end. But imagine your voice. It's living. It's a real thing. And then it gets spoken into this little wormhole, or these little holes, what we call a mouthpiece in the telephone. And then has it died? No, it's changed its form. It's gone into something else. So when our loved ones die, if people can just start realizing the energy shift has transformed into another place or another dimension, another concept, it's going to pass through that arc. This is why I'm trying to help people with these wormholes. It's going to pass through that wormhole or that arc, that electric current, that portal, whatever you want to call it, and manifest as another being on the other side. At what speed? As soon as it hits there, it's the speed of an electric arc, moves into a new place. And this is where we've also been conned when we think that these people are talking to our ancestors, our parents who've passed on. I don't want to be nasty to people where they think they talking about they're talking to their ancestors. We've got kind people, kind aliens, kind whatever you want to call them, who out of kindness to those who are left mortified on this physical planet, they say, all right, we will console you. I will have a representative come and talk who knows and can imitate and can repeat what happened. We need to let go of the death process. We need to let go of this finality. Nothing is final, which is why I said right in the beginning, astrology works in cycles. The cycle is far more powerful than moving from point A to point B. So we will transform. Nobody dies. We do not lose loved ones, but we do not know what dimension they are going to, what dimension they have come from. So while we think our children are ours, they came from somewhere else. They are loaned to us in these bodies. We do not know from where they came. We do not know to where they are going, but we think we own them. We need to change our concept of life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's also lightning again, isn't it? You've made me look at lightning a different way since our last interview. and like you say, isn't it weird how they make these really tall buildings nowadays to try and get the signal or the lightning to hit them?
Do we ask what's in their basements?
No, exactly. Is it not just a big pyramid of Giza?
Well, the points, I mean, we
What is the point of these really tall buildings? Why would they keep trying to build a tall building and then another one, and then, like you say, and then the Twin Towers would make a perfect arc.
Yes.
And then you look, if you look up, lightning hitting these buildings, you'll see a lot of different lightning hitting, and churches are getting hit a lot by lightning.
In spirit science, it explained that there are different grids, like an onion, piled on top of each other. Now, this is part of the height principle that everybody's seeking. They're all trying to go higher. Higher to where? I mean, they're not reaching where God is yet, not this little piffling level. So you've got to question, are they tapping into the different layers, the different stratospheres, the different levels of grids? What are they doing? So it's not what appears on the physical, and we keep looking on the physical. We've got to go beyond the physical. I'm trying to share with people, even on a psychic level, we've got to go beyond looking with these eyes. We've got to start looking at life in another way.
So, is that
I want to explain to people that we think it's just a tool that's to our advantage, just to gain information technology. But when you start realizing that the different, according to astrology, the different energies or the different quadrants, not quadrants, but the different sections, there's 12 sections, the internet disappears into some other world. Now, this is why I try to help people start realizing that there's different energies in different parts of the world.